Thank you for tuning back in. Thank you so much for coming back. We really appreciate it. If this is your first time, thanks for giving us a shot. It's been a while, but we're glad you're here. It's been a while. Yeah.
Very happy. It's been, well,
I screwed up the other.
I screwed up one of them. I simply forgot.
Yeah.
I simply forgot what coast and time zone I was
Zach
in.
forgot what time zone he's in. I got sick. It's just one thing after another with us. But we promise we are committed to this podcast.
Bad excuses,
and
but
like I said, we appreciate you so much for being here. Thank you very much. We are excited also that you're here because we have a fantastic guest. We have known this guy, both Vac and I have known this guy for the longest time. On a personal note, in my opinion, one of the best joke writers out there. Phenomenal joke writer. You can find his special on Dry Bar. It's Love, Peace, and Whatnot. He has 5 albums out on iTunes, a podcast. It's called Dumbest Tom in the Room. He was a writer on seasons 1 through 3 of the Mrs. Pat Show. And he played a bartender in 4 episodes on season 1 of Single Drunk Female. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Simmons.
Hey. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, buddy. It's been a while, man.
It has been a while, but you know what?
I've
seen clips of this show that you guys are doing, and I love this idea of let's write jokes.
Thank you, buddy. I'm glad. Thank you. Yeah.
It's.
Yeah, that's you know.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's you know the idea that Vac and I had, and we're having a lot of fun with it. We're getting a lot of positive feedback. We got some great listeners, and could use some more.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah. So
of course.
So you know what we do here. We come to the show with ideas for bits or bits that we're trying to work on and make better, or just a premise, and we just bounce ideas back and forth off each other, and we try to make them better. And as in baseball, visiting team gets to bat first. So what you got, man? What you got, Tom?
I like it. I like it,
something
Vinnie.
like here's just a topic,
that.
or okay. Well, let me throw this out at you. This is the thing I kind of had like a weird moment with a satisfying moment with my Beyonce, right? Which is what I currently call my wife, because there's not like a name for fiance when you're on your way to splitting up, right? So instead of fiance, I'm like Beyonce. Anyway, we're watching.
I see.
We're watching True Detective.
I'm sorry, Tom. You broke up, so I missed that.
Oh, okay.
I missed it.
No, that's really just I was explaining to you what it is. That's not really the joke. The idea, like we were watching True Detective, right? And then a producer came up, and his name was Dan Fogelman, and I was like, honey, that's cool. That producer was almost 80s singer Dan Fogelberg. And I was like, that's kind of funny. And she went, it wasn't Dan Fogelberg, it was Dan Fogelman. That's what I was just thinking. Like, Dan Fogelman's doing producing now, is what she. And I go, no. It was Dan Fogelberg was the singer. I'm gonna go. She was like, no. And I go, I'm 100% that it wasn't. And then so she was kind of, like, give me that, like, you don't know what I'm an idiot. Of course she's right. So she Googles it, and I was right. She goes, oh, it was Dan Fogelberg. And then instead of going, you were right about that, I missed that, she said, that must be another one of those Mandela effects. Right? So she would rather the entire universe time shift and fuck it than me be right about something.
Right.
That's the premise. I like that.
Right. Yeah. Wow. That's That's a smart bet. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
really a bit. It's like it's mostly what happened, except for the thing about like I could tell she was so sure that she was still right that I wrote that line about that must be another one of those Mandela effects. So she didn't really say that, but you know what I mean? Like I think that's a good premise for a couple, somebody that doesn't like to admit they're wrong. They would rather be like, oh, it's like the Berenstain Bears.
Buddy, every
Whoops. Yeah, she would rather everything be fucked up than to admit she was
stepped
wrong.
into a different universe.
Right? I mean, is that?
Yeah.
Yep. I think every single guy in the audience won't be able to admit that out loud to you.
Yeah.
But they're all going to go, yep.
Same here.
This one too.
Except
every chick I've ever known has done that.
I think that the way to overcome that would be to make somehow it's got to be we all do that. Like it's really not about that she's a woman doing that. It's that there's some people have the personality where they're never wrong, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
But in this case,
they're never wrong. You know, and not that I don't know if this has anything to do with it, because I love the fact that you said it's not just women. My father was like that. My father never admitted he was wrong in the face of irrefutable evidence and proof.
He was
never
supporter.
wrong. Ever. Not one time in his life. And he was always correct. No matter what, I could have him in a recording saying like something, and I go, "That's not me.
Murphy bit.
I never said that." I'm telling you,
it's like that old Eddie Murphy bit where he was like getting with he's like, if you cheat on your wife, never admit it. She's like, I have pictures of you with the girl walking out of it. Wasn't me. I looked you dead in the eye. Wasn't me. Like that. I think it's off Raw.
Oh
no.
Yeah, Raw. That's it. Raw. Yeah.
Maybe, but that's not the same joke. It just reminds me.
Was that Raw? Okay.
It's not the same bit. It just reminds me.
But I love the fact, Tom.
No. Do you know the Mandela Effect? Do you think
you can
know the Mandela
Are you
Effect?
afraid?
Like, do you know? Like, you guys know?
What's that?
Yeah,
I've heard of it, but I got to be honest. I was going to ask you that.
That's when you spend like decades in prison trying to overthrow apartheid, and then you come out and you become the leader, and then everything just sort of goes back to how it was, and nothing really changes.
Oh, okay.
No, that's a joke. No, that's not a joke. The Mandela Effect is.
Hey, Vac.
I was like, wow,
look,
I've never
Tom's
heard
a smart
of this.
guy. He knows we're idiots. He's fucking making fun of us right now.
The Mandela Effect is. I thought that may be a problem with that joke is that maybe people don't know the Mandela Effect. Like it's like people say like there's a lot of people believe that Mandela died in prison. So he's sort of the first version of what happened and then they have a memory that he died in prison. And then they're like, something happened that now he's president. And a lot of people sort of have that belief. The Bernstein Bears are like the kids' book, the Bernstein Bears. They're really the Berenstein Bears. And people are like, no, I read that to my kid and it was blah, blah, blah. You know, like, or there's a number of things like that people have a memory, like in the Fruit of the Loom logo, there being one of those, what are those things called with the like that tube plant or whatever all the fruit, the cornucopia or whatever. There's like that people are like, I 100% agree, think that was in the logo, and they're like, that was never in the logo, and then like things like that.
And they'll just never admit it. They're sure of it, and that's it.
Hey, is this kind of like that? Have you ever had somebody tell a story? Hey, man, you're not going to believe what happened to me. Blah blah blah. And they tell the story. You're like, dude, That was me. I told you about that 2 years ago. You ever have? Is that a Mandela effect? You ever have anybody do that?
Yeah.
I feel like I've had that happen, but I can't think of specifically when it is. Like, what are you what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I worked with a comic one time whose intro
Yeah, me
was that
too.
he won the 2009 San Francisco Comedy Festival.
That was wasn't that you?
And that was like, I was like, oh, I also won that. And then like after I got off the ship from working with him or whatever, I looked it up and I was like, oh, 2009 was when I won it. Like I didn't really remember like the specific year and thought I might be wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. So can that be defined? Can that also be defined as a Mandela effect?
That's interesting.
Maybe. That's, I don't know. No, I think it's more like I think if you looked it up, you'd be surprised because there'd be things like that. Like to me, the Bears one, I was like, yeah, I think it was the other way. I think it was the Bernstein Bears, not the Berenstain Bears. Yeah. Like it's like somehow I thought that's what I read to my son, you know. So same with the Fruit of the Loom thing. I'm like, yeah, I recognize that logo with the cornucopia in it, you know, or some like a couple of them like that, you know. So I guess you're right. That could get you like it's
okay.
I have to figure out a way to explain, maybe make a joke about the Mandela effect and explain what it is. Maybe before that joke.
You could say, you know, or just let it lay there, Tom. Just let it lay there. Do the punchline again. Do the punchline again.
I love how you assume it's going to lay there. That's the beautiful part of this.
well, listen, bro. Listen. You and I know that people one-on-one, you know, are mostly they're smart people, you know, but an audience can be dumb as dog shit sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they're good.
Mandela effect went over my head, and
sometimes you watch a show and you're like. Sometimes you watch a show and you're like, the audience is. I remember Daryl Lennox said that to me once about the audiences in New York when he was there for a while. He was like, sometimes something's happened. The audience is now smarter than the comedians. You know, and sometimes you see that. Sometimes you see that when you're doing comedy or you have jokes where you're like, they're smarter than that joke I just told them. You know.
Yeah. Well, I was just commenting on the fact that you said maybe most people don't understand what the Mandela effect is. So let's just assume that they don't, and it does lay there. Do the punchline for me. Do the punchline for me.
She would rather the whole entire universe shift, and there be a different timeline where then me be right.
Yeah.
Right.
With the Mandela, there was where you use the word or the phrase Mandela effect. Or were you just, or was that the tag? Or was that the tag?
Oh, I was wrong about that. She says, oh, that must be one of those Mandela effects.
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
Maybe that's a good point. Maybe I'm like, Mandela effect? What the hell's a Mandela effect? And then she tells me, and then I have a joke about that. And then I'm like, so you would rather the entire timeline shift than me be right about what the facts are? You just can't be like, oh, I almost got that wrong.
I'm trying to think if you can somehow bring that back to True Detective or Dan, was it Fogelberg? If there was a way to, you know, if she explains Mandela effect and you were to say something like, where'd you hear about that?
Dan Fogelman song.
It's in a Dan Fogelman song. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, and you're just like, whoa. Do you know what I mean? Like, just kind of bring it full circle. It doesn't even have to make sense. It's just, she's like,
you guys are laughing about that, but there's another timeline where they are rolling in the aisles of that joke.
I was just gonna say that. I was gonna say, like, when you go home, you're all gonna remember this joke as being funny.
That's right. That's funny. I love you. I love that we're writing the. I love that we're writing the savers. I love that.
We do go home in a different timeline. The savers. But do you think there's a way to maybe do that? I mean, to bring it back to either True Detective or one of the two, or
be well, I think when you said True Detective, I thought, well, then she starts acting like a detective and she's going to go find out the information. You know what I mean? It's like then, so you start to use the phrasing maybe, and she's like, well, that must be, and then maybe you're right. Maybe there's like another kind of beat where it's like, she's the untrue detective. I kind of like jokes like that are easy plays on words.
True Detective. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like, as I get more into this, Tom, I'm appreciating.
I'm listening. I'm trying to write down that stuff while you're
real. Go ahead.
So she says,
I'm here. Yes. So yes.
She explains Mandela Effect to you, right, Tom?
So now I have to go into my phone.
Okay. Like, wow.
That's a
Dan
line.
Fogelman. I heard about a Dan Fogelman song. Oh, I just like tying,
yes.
Tying it together,
like you would write it, like you should
in a way,
like boom, ba boom, 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 and then back to the thing, like wrap it. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. You know how few times I think about that. That correct. I like hearing that. It's like watching Joey Cola, where every chunk of material ends with just this big thing.
Yeah,
I know of him. I've never met him.
Do you know Joey Cola, Vinnie?
Yeah.
Dude, when I first started doing stand-up on Long Island, he was one of the guys that was such a great mentor to us, and one of the funniest and kindest.
That's all I hear about him is how funny he is and how nice he is. Yeah.
He's so known for that it kind of bugs me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, man.
I thought that it was special to me. I thought like Joey Cola thinks I'm funny and is saying all these complimentary things.
That's hysterical.
Because all those things you said are so true. He's like one of the greatest. Like he's such a great dude, and so like, and you're like, oh, he says that to everybody. Yeah.
He truly is, though. Like, he truly is. He doesn't know how to not be nice.
That's what I heard.
And he's a fucking monster on stage, man.
And going back to anger. And going back to anger,
on stage.
Like, there's an anger that fuels a lot of some of his bits that are the most powerful ones. Yet he has, like I was just saying, it bleeds into my life. I would say it's the opposite for him. Like, right? Yeah. So it kind of nullifies what we were talking about in the beginning. Because I don't feel any anger from him in one-on-one conversation, Yeah.
Really?
No.
Wow.
Never. But you're right. That's a really great point, Tom, because a lot of the stuff he did this bit about women driving like on Long Island and all the traffic. And you could clearly tell it kind of annoyed him.
Yes.
But it was so goddamn funny that you didn't get that feeling really. That he was, it's like sitcom angry, versus True Detective drama angry. Like sitcom angry cannot really be angry, or it ain't funny. And same with stand-up. You could be stand-up angry, but it's different than if you're doing a monologue in a dramatic play or something. It could be the same topic.
They have to kind of know
but you're right, man. That's such a great point with Joey. It's like, right, you can't set them back in their seats. Like, is he really snapping? We've all seen comedians have bits where they were angry, frustrated, but you never felt you were laughing at it.
Man.
Ralph Cramden getting annoyed with Norton. And I think you
that makes me reevaluate a bunch of stuff that I've been doing recently. That's so true. Yeah. Real anger versus sitcom anger. Yeah.
That's the way I was looking at it. Sitcom angry versus, when any sitcom where there's a couple, they're going to have the conflict, right? They're annoyed with each other, but you never think, oh my God, are they going to get divorced?
Yeah.
It's
true.
it's not. It's a sitcom. So even though they were really annoyed, when Doug got mad at Carrie or Carrie got mad at Doug, you never thought they were going to break up.
Yeah.
Because they delivered it like it should have been delivered, you know?
Great point.
Anyway. And that's Joey Cola, man. So much of his stuff could be, you might go, oh my God, he's angry, but he really isn't. I feel his anger, but it's funny.
I agree. But, you know, but what would you say? Would you say the same thing about Vic? And when he does his screaming, spitting at the camera, fucking super angry bits that he does on the videos?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one great niche that he found, however you say it, but that's exaggerated anger in my opinion. That's big. I don't know. It's people. I mean, it's understood. Like, you know, like he's comically aggravated. You know,
right.
Yeah. I don't think, you know what? I don't think people want real angry people screaming at them on the internet. I mean, we've seen those videos. They're mostly political, and you're just like, God, scroll, you know? You know what I'm saying? You know,
scroll, leave me alone.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you know what? I guess that, you know, no, I don't guess. That is a talent. That's a skill to be able to come across comically angry, to be funny while being angry, you know? And that's what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, sure he's upset. He's upset about the traffic. He's upset about these things. Sure. But he's doing it in such a way that you don't feel like, you know, come on, man, you know? You want to sit and listen to him.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, anger works for me on stage.
There's a couple bits that I do.
Now I'm trying to turn it into. I'm trying to turn my anger into like me getting angry, and then it's like me recognizing like how useless it is. Like me being mad at traffic every day is like I might as well be mad at the sky being blue. Like it's just it only affects me.
Yeah.
And it's there every day. Like for me to think it's not going to be there is stupid. So to get mad at it every day and let it ruin 10 minutes, 15, whatever that is, you know, it's like when I'm screaming, or is this your first day driving? And I just need to look in the rearview mirror and be like, is this your first day driving, jackass? You know, that's that kind of thing. So,
yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, I've seen you. I've seen you in bits before, Tom, where you scream angrily and over things, and you're obviously upset or angry about a thing, and I know you're upset about it, and I know you're angry about it, but once again, it was comic anger. You know, it was good. It was good. What are you trying to say? You're trying to say that you want to be more real anger up there? Is that what you're saying? And then pull it back, realize.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I just try to get laughs. So I try to find the balance while I'm up there. But it's almost always if I'm faking anger, it comes off as angry.
Yeah.
If I'm sort of I guess what you're saying, I never really thought about. If I'm comically angry, then it works. But if I'm really angry, they sense it. It's like jokes like you were talking about joking about your kid. You know what I mean? Like if I say, man, it's amazing how much you can love your kid and want to throw it through a wall. That's funny but you can only say it so angrily before it just sounds like you want to throw your kid through a fucking wall. And then it's like, okay.
Yeah. See, that's specific.
Exactly.
That's specifically the bit that
and when you're talking about kids.
It's I'm like my head is spinning right now with ways to alter how I'm performing that bit now, because I was telling Tom Vac that, you know, one of the bits that, you know, you helped me with on this show was the I hate my son bit, and that bit has started to flounder a little bit. Remember how I told you this is my favorite thing to do? I'm having so much fun, and I think it's because I'm either going too overboard with anger, or, you know, they can see through me now. I don't hate them. I love them. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, sorry. Back to Tom.
Yeah. No, we were talking about this. I remember, like, we were talking about this about the first few times you tell a bit that it really works, and then it sort of a month later you're like, that's not really a joke. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Why
What
did
is
it work before?
Yeah.
And the closest I've ever heard to an answer to that is the connection one. Like, when you first are telling it, you're connected to the joke and the feeling and why you think it's funny. And then that connection creates a connection with the crowd. And then a month later, or a week later, 3 weeks later, you're telling the same joke, but your connection is now the words to your page in your notebook, or watching yourself tell it another time when it worked. And so your connection is broken, so their connection is broken. So if the joke isn't tight enough, solid, then it goes away,
Yeah.
It's like, we'll say stuff tonight that we'll laugh at, and then it'll be like, oh, that's funny because in the moment it was funny. Like, I laugh because you believed in it and we're having so much joy telling it,
Yeah.
And then that's gone. It's not funny.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and there was, because Vinnie and I have talked about this, I do a bit like that worked the first time out on stage. First time out, I got laughs, the vertigo bit. And then the second time, it got some laughs. Third time, it looked at him like, we don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Same bit. But I think, Tom, that point is a good one. Some bits that happens to, and when you lose that connection, it's like, I remember years ago I would do improv. Where it was an improv. Anyway, sometimes you improv something that is so funny in that moment, and then you erroneously try to replicate it the next week.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work.
So frustrating about comedy. Like, it's such a
dude,
weird...
you can't. We said that last week in the moment. It was brilliant in the moment. Now you're trying to find a spot to get that line in. What are you doing? Like, and I think that can happen with stand-up sometimes. You're excited, maybe a little nervous first time out, but you have a little bit of that excitement about trying that new bit. And boom, we worked on, boom, boom. I'm like, this is going to be great. I'm going to send this to Vinnie. He's going to love it because we worked, and it's going, and I got laughs, ta-da. And then then they got a little cocky, like, I got a new bit. And then it went okay. And then, and the third time they were like, what's vertigo again? We don't quite follow what you did you divorce her? Like, we're lost, and you can just feel it as I'm doing it. This is getting nothing. Nothing.
I love that explanation.
I try to reconnect with the first time I did it.
For that. Yeah, I love that. You're connecting with the words on the page.
Thank you for that.
And so you lost the connection with the audience. That makes a lot of sense to me.
I'm actually gonna. Well, we have it on the podcast. I'm actually gonna write that down. I think that's brilliant.
It stuck with me for 18 years or whatever. That thinking, like, when I was told that, because I was really confused and I was like, why is this happening? And it's like the first time somebody told me it, where I was like, oh, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Although it was just, then it's about how do you recapture that every time? But then you're acting, and then that's not what we're doing too. So it's like it's a weird balance, right? Like what you're saying about, like, it happens, and then the vertigo joke will work again because it will come up in the crowd, and then it will work again. Like, they think you just thought of it. It works, like, oh, it works again. And then you get tricked again and you're like, oh, that is a good joke. I need to put that back in, try that again. And then a week and a half later, you realize, oh no, it's not. It was in that moment too.
Yeah. Man, it's so frustrating sometimes.
Yeah. But that's the beauty too of writing. That's the beauty too of writing, is because eventually,
the beauty of what we do.
Eventually, now when stuff starts happening in the crowd, you have those jokes, and they're not jokes that work, but they are jokes that work in that moment. And so, it's like,
oh heck yeah, absolutely,
yeah, because somehow the joke comes back in the moment again, and like in a moment that's so many years away, and then your brain just knows it.
But you see this thing about comic,
it's so wonderful.
Yeah. That's a great feeling, and it always gets a great laugh. But this thing about connection and comic anger, they're really making me reevaluate a lot of stuff in my head, and I'm like, it's like spinning right now. And I'm starting to think to myself, hey, some of these bits that I've thrown out because I just couldn't get them to work, maybe it's because I couldn't find the connection, the connection to the bit and then the connection to the audience, And right. I think I'm starting to reevaluate a bunch of stuff in my head right now.
That's cool.
So pardon me for being a little distracted.
All right, what do you got? What did you give me this? Let's go to the topic you guys. One of you guys got.
You want to. This is an idea, Tom. This is an idea that's been bouncing around my head. You know what? I almost don't want to do it because I can't follow Mandela Effect. I can't with this. So it's about airplane food. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God. Yes, I love it.
No, so this is
brilliant.
No. This is something that's been bouncing around my head for a long time, and it's one of those things where I go, "That's funny. I should bring that to the stage. That's funny. I should bring that to the stage." You know what? I should write that down. Because when I write stuff down, more jokes pour out of me. I don't know if that I very rarely write things down. But if I ever open up a notebook and start writing down stuff and then writing out a bit or how I think a bit should be in my head, suddenly more jokes just form. Yeah. Never done either. Never done it on stage. It's just something that's been bopping around my head. And I think what's wrong with it, or what may be wrong, or maybe not, is the imagery. And maybe you guys can help me with that. But here it is. It goes like this.
I would say shorten the setup, first of all. Whatever the setup is so far, I'd shorten that. I'd shorten the setup.
Hey man, part of this podcast is about how you came up with the bit. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Oh my God. That's hysterical.
I miss Tom Simmons.
Let's hear the joke. Let's go.
Right,
let's hear it. Let's
all right, here we go. All right, this is gonna suck now. Okay, all right, here we go. So we're all gonna die, folks. Sorry to bring everybody down. It's just one of those things that's gonna happen to all of us. Death is such a certainty. The only time the word if and die can appear in the same sentence is before we do something stupid. For example, hey, let's go punch that grizzly bear in the nose. If we don't die, let's get lunch. I go, I've come to the realization that I am no longer afraid to die. I'm not.
Is that true?
It is true. I just don't want to die stupid. I read these stories about people who walk down the sidewalk in New York and a flower pot falls on their head and it kills them. That's dying stupid. I don't want to go out like that. I would hate for that to happen. Like I've smoked for 20 years. If I die of emphysema, that's cool. I'm okay with that. I did that to me. Okay.
That's dying stupid. The other way is you're just walking along.
I had no control over it. Though. It's just, it's like, it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It's like you did that to yourself, man. You smoked, you gave yourself cancer, you fucking, that's what you did. But if you're just walking and someone like accidentally bumps the thing and kills you, man, that sucks, man. I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Like for instance, or like these people that they go to a restaurant and they eat the food and it was poisoned by something in the kitchen, not intentionally, but something poisoned the food and they die. That scares the shit out of me to die like that. I don't, but if I'm, driving stupid on the road and I, flip my car and kill myself, that, I can take that. I can live with that up in heaven. I'm okay with that, and I guess it's because I think this way that I don't do things like skydive, and I don't do things like bungee jump or stuff like that, because I'm very hard on myself. I like, if I do something dumb, I beat myself up about it, and I can just imagine what would happen. And the reason I don't jump out of an airplane, because if my chute doesn't open, I'll spend like the next 5 minutes just cursing at myself. You dumb motherfucker, you stupid ass. You knew better than this, you stupid. And I don't want to die hating myself. So that's kind of sounds like you guys are going to think this is funny later.
It sounds like the Mandela Effect.
Yeah. So hold on a second.
So
if I did it to myself, if you did it to yourself,
you're okay with
death,
it?
I'm okay with that. Like, I can live with that. Like, if there's a way to know after we die, you're going up to heaven, you're an angel or whatever's going on, and there's this afterlife, you're gonna go, yeah, I shouldn't have smoked, but hey, did it to myself. I don't want to end up in heaven. I don't want to end up and going, holy shit, what the hell? How did I get here?
No one to blame but me.
Came loose on the 17th floor and dropped on your head. I want to know.
You want to have some say in how you die.
I want to have some say. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
I like the not
control.
being like. I also like a lot of the premises within that, like death being a certainty. We're all going to die, obviously. The no longer being afraid to die thing is because that's the number one fear, really, being people, dying.
I'm not. You know what? Okay, let me rephrase that. Okay,
that's true.
I'm not. I'm not really afraid. I'm not. But there are certain ways I don't want to die. I don't. I don't want to. I don't want to drown. I don't want to die in a fire. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hate to freeze to death. That would suck. I don't want to. I don't want to be trapped in a building. You know what I'm saying? It collapses. See, now there's nothing funny about those.
Would be to be on fire.
What?
It would suck to be on fire and be like, oh my God, if I just had some water, and then it's just like a cascade of water and now you're drowning.
Yes. Which is my second worst way to die. I think what's interesting, though, to me about that, though, Vinny, is mentioning ways to die in a comedy show. I think you have to word it properly. I don't want to burn to death. Yeah. If I was the audience, I'd be like, oh my God, like, where's this guy going with this? I mean, you got to make sure you get out of that, like, with a laugh. But I'm interested. I'm interested in the way you say.
That's funny.
I don't want to burn to death. I don't want to drown. I don't want to get bitten in the dick by a crocodile. Like, well, they're like horrible ways to die. They're horrible ways
that's
to
the joke
die.
Structure.
I think I don't want it to be something stupid. Like the flower pot was funny.
Yeah.
If you say, if I did it to myself, I can. I think it's funny when you say, basically what you're saying is, if I killed myself, I can live with that. Like, it's actually funny to say that.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean?
Like, I like that if I did it, I can live with myself, I could live with that.
I could kill with that. Yeah.
But
that's a
like
really
the flower pot, like getting, if I kill myself,
that might be the final punch. Yeah. I mean, if I kill myself, I can live with it. See, what that brings to my mind is just bringing up all these different accidental ways. Like I said, I would need you guys to help me with the imagery. These accidental ways of dying, like the flower pot, and what's like the restaurant. But that I don't think that's as funny.
My mind got a little on the words when you were like, I don't want to do something dumb, die of a dumb thing. And then the flower pot was the dumb thing, but the actual dumb thing you weren't counting as dumb. Like you wrecking your car or you smoking cigarettes and killing yourself. Those are dumb things. The ways you're killing yourself. Those are legit dumb. The other way is just like those are just by chance. So I was getting a little like, like that's where my mind was going.
Yeah.
No. I see that now. I see that now. But in my opinion, it is there's a word I'm looking for. It is more appealing. That's the wrong word. To die knowing
at your own hand.
At my own hand by but if it's going to be accidental, like that, or for instance, I did smoke for 20 years, and if for some reason that comes up and that, oh, you got emphysema now, you smoked for 20 years. Yes. I'm like, well, I did it to myself, You
literally died by
and
your own hand.
Of course, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I forgot where I was going with that, but I appreciate the line there.
I love. If I kill myself, I can live with that. I love.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, if I kill myself, I can live with
it. Yeah, even if it's something stupid, I can live with it. I did it to myself.
Where I was going was, let's say, for instance, God forbid, I find out that there's some kind of cancer or something like that due to smoking or whatever, that doesn't mean I'm just going to lay down and accept it. I'm not saying that. Of course, I'm going to do everything in my power to not die.
Right.
However, if that happens, it's not going to be something where, of course, I shouldn't have smoked, but hey, I did. So that's the way it goes. You play, you pay. Yeah.
Dying from skydiving seems.
But so
dying from skydiving seems, because like the flaw in skydiving is packing your chute.
Right.
And then some people get so good that they pack their own chute. But
right.
That seems like an extra flaw in the plan. Like the same brain that's jumping out of a plane is packing a chute. I don't know if I trust that brain to do both those things. Right?
Yeah. Right. Right.
And one of those situations. You're right. What's the cause of death? What's the cause of death on
Impact.
The coroner's report from dying in skydiving?
Impact. It's like blunt force trauma all over your body.
Oh, okay. So it's gravity. They just write gravity in there.
It's right, gravity. Yeah. But you know what, man? I don't know about you guys, impact. But I mean, along with the screaming on the way down, I'd also be like, you dumb motherfucker. You stupid ass.
Yeah.
You are such a jerk. I know that about me. I know that. Yeah. I would be cursing him. I just don't want to listen. I don't want the last few moments of my life to be me hating myself.
I think that's really funny. I think that's a really funny speech. Like you can write a funny speech on your way down, like that, like where you're like, you idiot. Like, why would you, your mom, you can get your mom jumping in there. Your dad, your whole life flashes before you have everybody telling you how dumb you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My father was right. I'm an idiot. Oh, well.
That's funny. But as on the way down, everybody in my life was ever called me an idiot is coming into my head.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I told you so. The last words I hear is everybody saying, I told you so.
Yeah. Yeah. And then everybody's at my funeral going, I knew it, this dumb shit. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to happen to him. Yeah.
I want to go back to what you were saying, like you don't want to die walking down a sidewalk.
I don't want to get
pot hit you.
I don't want to get to wherever it is that's next.
Because you have no control over
that. If there is something that's next, I don't want to get to that point and go, wait a minute, whoa, I'm dead. Well, how did I get here? A flower pot, really? That's what killed me?
Yeah. That's also a tough way to explain to everybody else wherever you are how you died.
It's because heaven might be a lot like jail, bro. It might be like jail.
Like
hey,
someone,
man, how'd you get here?
man,
man, I was fighting a bear, dude.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I died.
Yeah.
I protected my family from a bear. They got away, but the bear got me. But you know what? My family's okay. Go, wow, that's a man. How'd you die? I don't want to bring any war into it, but I used to race cars, man. I drove a car. I was the first guy to drive a car 250 miles an hour, and the tire blew the road, and I died. Wow, that's a man. How'd you die? I broke the record. How did you die? A flower pot hit me in the top of the head. You guys have no idea. It was rough, and I should have known better. You're the pussy in heaven now. You're the guy. This guy died from a flower pot. Dude, I fought an 800-pound grizzly bear for 20 minutes. The guy. I don't know if this.
I like that.
Race car. So we know we're fucking tonight. I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
Broke a record.
The tire blew. The car rolled, and I died. But I died doing what I love.
There's the angle. It's heaven's. I bet you heaven's gonna be like jail. Hey, what'd you do to get in? How'd you get here?
I like that.
Maybe it's all. You know what? Maybe you're in. The waiting room for St. Peter's Gate to see if you're even going to get into heaven. Yeah. Right. And you guys are all told, what are you doing? What'd you do? I died, saved my family. Oh, you're going right into heaven. How did you die? Oh, whatever, something else. Yeah. I'm a fireman. I ran into a burning building. I saved 5 babies. I say, oh, you're getting right into heaven. How did you die? I was walking down the street and this flower pot fell out of my.
Really? What kind of flower?
Something like that.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Good luck, weed, buddy.
Man.
Good luck.
Oh, dude.
I don't know. Actually, I think it was empty. I don't even know.
Oh, yeah. Saved a bunch of kids.
One thing I've always been.
A bunch of kids.
Yeah, I like that stuff too. Being a fireman, I like that. The fireman's quicker than the.
I ran into a burning building. I saved a bunch of kids.
It's just. Yeah. It's like one man after another after another. Then it comes to Vinnie, and you died from a flower pot.
So what would they say? So Vac, Tom, what would they say? What would the big tough prisoners, the guys that killed, the guys that murdered, the guys that kidnapped, or whatever? What would they say to that guy? What would they say? Like, what are you like? Oh, I guess you're the bitch tonight, or I guess what? What would they say?
You know what I'm saying? Mine for heaven.
Well, we're making an analogy here.
Yes. You mean the guys that?
Yes. Maybe there's Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, let's
would
keep
they
it clean.
even be?
Okay, let's keep it clean.
They wouldn't be online in
you
heaven,
can get
right?
in, but you're sweeping.
St. Peter's Gate.
You're sweeping up. I don't know.
I don't know if I don't know the funny way to say this.
Yeah. You don't want to go necessarily, especially working with who you work with.
Is there a way to do you ask somebody how they died and they fell out of their window trying to catch their flower pot?
I don't know, but that's just funny. Yeah.
That's funny, man.
Trying to catch my flower pot.
Yeah, how did you die? I was putting a flower pot. I was putting a flower pot on the ledge, and it slipped, and I reached for it, and I fell.
Really? Hey, man. My mom gave me that flower pot. I don't know. I fell out of my window.
Maybe it's the new guy that just joined you because he died after you. He fell on top of you. So now he's coming. Hey, there's a new guy. How'd you die? I was putting a flower pot out on the ledge.
I didn't want anybody to get hurt.
I reached for it. I don't want anybody to get hurt. Yeah. Boom, I come down.
I didn't want anybody to get hurt. So you guys think there's something there?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I think there's a lot of to me there's a few premises within that. You know what I mean?
There's got this is gonna have to be structured a certain way. So this is one of these bits that I'm gonna have to go in, sit down, write out, organize. You put this here. Oh, wait a second. If I say this here, then that will call back this there. That's what this feels like. But it always struck me as funny.
Yeah.
I
feel like there's a couple
lines
you guys that are gonna work.
I mean, I don't know how you guys felt about the first part, about the if part. The only time if and die can appear in the same sentence is before you do something stupid. Yeah. That always struck me as funny.
Yeah. I don't
know if it's necessary.
It's a funny observation. No good.
Say it again.
I start the bit by talking about, I think we're all going to die, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to bring everybody down. It's just a certainty. Matter of fact,
a punchline.
The only time if and die can appear in the same sentence is before we do something stupid. For example, hey, let's go punch that grizzly bear in the nose. If we don't die, let's go get lunch. Anyway, that's just like an intro to the bit and a funny observation, or so I thought.
I think it needs a joke immediately.
It needs a joke immediately. There's no joke.
I think the crux of the
4 words you say. What are the first? What's the beginning of that? It's like you say do the first 3 sentences.
The first 3 sentences is, we're all going to die, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry to bring everybody down. It's just a certainty.
If there's a punchline right there, that'd be nice.
What?
We're all going to die, ladies and gentlemen. Not right now.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah. Oh yeah, not right now. That's great. Yeah.
And then the next line is what?
It's so certain. The only time the word if, and the word die can appear in the same sentence is before we do something stupid.
Right.
You say to a friend, "Hey, let's go punch that grizzly in the nose." Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It probably shouldn't be this hard to find. See, this is just something that was funny to me, or so in my head it was funny.
Yeah.
I think the bit is about how you're no longer afraid to die. And that's the bit. And so when you do die, you just want to make sure it's something.
Yeah.
Not that you had no control over, like the flower pot. Like you took a risk. You drove in the snow.
Yeah.
There's a risk you're gonna slip in the air.
But it was a risk.
It was
a risk I knew going in, and I was perfectly acceptable. I accepted it. Yeah, no, I know this is dangerous. Look, no, I like cheeseburgers, okay, and I'm gonna have one. I don't care, Yeah, my doctor said cut down on salt. You know what? I like.
Yeah, I crossed to this side of the street when I saw.
If I'm gonna go to the bagel,
3 young dudes.
It's worth the risk.
I was saying, like, he's already being careful. Like, I crossed to this side of the street in the first place to avoid the 3 dudes that look criminal. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're all gonna die, not tonight, but it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? We can't avoid it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Death is a certainty. But I could tell you right now, like, and then a punchline, and then what he's saying, like. But I'm no longer afraid to die.
Oh, I could just...
Like, we had more say in how we died. You know what I mean? Like, so maybe it's like phrases like that then like boom, boom, boom. Like,
yeah. We're all gonna die.
I don't want to die doing something. I don't want to die. I want to die in a way that's just that at least I see coming, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or what about this? We're all going to die, ladies and gentlemen. It's a certainty. It's just something that's going to happen to us all. Sorry to bring everybody down, but we're all going to die. Not like this joke right now, but I mean, instead of well, not tonight. That just popped into my head. I threw it out there.
I like the idea that you're saying, I'm not afraid. I'm no longer afraid to die. My thought was, folks, I have 3 kids under the age of 7. So I am no longer afraid to die. Like I've seen. It's just when I die, like we're all gonna die to certainty. But when I die, I want to make sure it's not something that I had no control over.
Yeah.
Like I like the fact that you just want to have some control, even if you fucked it up. You drank, you smoked, you drove too fast, whatever it was. You made the choice. You ate too much salt. You ate too many bacon cheeseburgers, but you knew it.
I shouldn't say that I live with that
you knew
yet.
It going
I shouldn't use that. I shouldn't spoil that yet.
Yeah, but some idiot's flower pot could just kill me for no reason.
Yeah, that bothers me.
Yeah. Somebody in flower pot can just.
But as long as I've done it, as long as I'm killing myself, I can live with that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, as long as I'm killing myself willingly, knowingly, I can handle it.
Yeah. At least when you're killing yourself, you got time to leave a goodbye note. I don't know if you want to.
I'm writing it down.
Right. I can leave a goodbye note. You may even want to pre-write it. You may even want to pre-write some goodbye notes, Vinnie, depending on the various ways you could die based on shit you've done. You know, like I smoked for 20 years. I eat too much salt. I should. Kids don't eat salt. You know, I miss you. I love you. All the things, my beautiful wife and children. I'm sorry I smoked for 20 years and I left you so early.
It's a form letter.
Dear beautiful wife and children, sorry I ate so much salt. Don't eat salt, kids.
I'm sorry I blank.
It's a form letter when you just change what you did.
That'd be a funny.
That'd be funny.
Like a funny will
for
to sell
20 years.
The show.
You know, all that.
Oh shit! I have. Oh, holy shit!
Holy shit! Yeah.
Will. Okay, wait a second. Wait.
To my beautiful wife and
children,
or beautiful husband and children, or whatever, you know.
So I gotta.
Yeah, there you go.
The note,
that's it.
The note is a form letter.
To my beautiful / handsome circle 1, blank, and children. Like, I am so. Excuse me. I'm so sorry that
even if you're
blanked for so many years.
Even if you're in a plane crash, you sort of have
smoke,
in theory you have time to text some goodbyes to people, right? Do you think you do that? Do you think you'd take the time to pull out your phone and be like, I think we're going to die, I love you, or anything? Would you do any of that, or would you be in a panic?
People did it on 9/11.
Once again,
on those
Tom,
planes,
that's gonna,
when they knew that second plane, they knew.
That's gonna, of course, depend on the some of these planes are just like, all right, we're going down, and they go down at an angle. Some of them go straight down. I doubt, you're pulling a lot of G's in that instance. Some of them are spinning, But I would think that if it was a situation where it was just going down like this.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And total, so, unless you're practice texting at least at Six Flags for a weekend. You know what I mean? Like, you're not even prepared at all.
Yeah. Practice texting at Six Flags. Yeah. Because, as present of mind as I like to think I am, if we're spinning, we're doing a corkscrew down, I think I'd be, man, I'd love to text my wife right now, but tell her how much I love her.
As you describe it, Vinnie, I think I'd rather go out with the flower pot thing.
Well, yeah, when the flower pot beats the plane spiraling down into the ocean in a burning fireball any day. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because the flower pot, boom, you're just out. But it's just here's the thing about the flower pot.
The more I think about it, the more.
Okay, I was going to say, the thing about the flower pot is, I'm in relatively decent health right now. Okay, my doctor said to me, he goes, "Oh yeah, you're gonna live for a good long time." He goes, blah blah blah, you ain't got nothing to worry about. And you're taken out by a flower pot, walking down the road. That's the thing, That's the thing. It's like I would rather, wreck my body in some way that I was kind of halfway responsible for. Of course, I don't want to go out in a plane crash, but I guess it all comes down to choice. I mean, we cannot pick the way.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, please, if
Yeah.
if I have any
It's
say in
interesting
this
because
matter, don't do the flower
It's
pot.
interesting. Yeah. It's interesting when you think about like that when they talk about extending human life or taking drugs that make our life, like if they could make you immortal, they can't. I mean, you'd still die by shit like flower pots. You know what I mean? You'd still die by. It's like when one of the worries about driverless cars was that it would cut down on accidents and there'd be 30,000 less organ donors per year that die in car wrecks. And I'm of the belief that we're stupid and we'll figure out other ways to kill ourselves. You know what I mean? Like texting.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like texting and walking in front of a driverless car or whatever,
Yeah.
Right.
I think we'll make up for it.
Yeah, we'll make up for it. We'll pick up the slack some way.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like instead of actually worrying about driving the car, what could we be doing in the car that might be dangerous? Because the car's gone. I don't have to worry about driving. Like we could maybe, I'm going to clean my gun. I'm here in the car. I don't have to worry about driving. And I'm going to clean my gun in the car. You know what I mean? And the car gets you to work. And
yes.
Where's Frank?
Yeah, right.
His car's here. Holy shit. And there's Frank. I mean, like, that's maybe like another bit, but that's great. Like, wow, we're so dumb that we'll catch up to it. We'll do stupid shit.
See, that's a bit right there.
Because we don't have to worry about driving now.
That's a good premise.
Not really. It's a thought I had about like driverless cars and the 30,000 per year. You know what I mean? And it's not really it's one of those things where I was like, oh, I got a joke, and then I didn't, and then it just sort of came up right there. So it was like, oh, maybe that fits.
It
but I
fit,
like
man.
that.
That is funny, man. Guys, this is great, man. This really gives me a lot of. This really kind of gets me excited about it because, like I said, I've never ever even said this out loud. Never said it out loud to anybody. It's just one of those things that just been bouncing around my head, and it's one of those things that's this blob in my head, and then, but now it seems to have some kind of a shape a little bit. So,
Yeah, I like it. I sort of start going like writing the phrases like death and taxes and death, just like thinking like 6 feet under and like that. I start doing the word association stuff. So,
yeah,
that's why I love that joke that Greg said about if I kill myself, I can live with that. I love quick phrases funny. Like that. They're
At least when you kill yourself, at least. Oh wait, that's.
I love jokes on the way to the joke that make it all.
Yeah. If I do it to myself, I can live with it. If I kill myself, if I kill myself, I can live with it. Yeah, that's funny. I got it.
If I kill myself, I can live with it.
Yeah.
Because those are the
all right.
Vac,
did you want to work on anything or? Okay.
No. Okay. No, we'll do it. No, we're.
Tom, did you want to work on anything else, or are you good?
I got some new stuff. Greg, do you ever have this happen when somebody after a show you're talking to them and they go, "Hey, good show," or whatever, and then you start talking to them a little bit, and they're like, "Yeah, where are you from?" And I'm like, "I'm from North Carolina," and I'm like, "Hey, I'm Tom." Like I reach out, like we're having a conversation, and they'll go, "Yeah, I know who you are." Like. Yeah, that was your cue to say your name. What the fuck is the matter with you? Like, it's just, And then I turn to the wife when she starts talking, and I go, "Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Tom." And she goes, "Yeah, okay." I go, "What's your name?" And she's like, "Why do you want to know?" Because that's what we fucking do in society.
Wow.
Like she was obviously saying, like, you're not going to pay attention to my name and blah blah blah. But.
Yeah,
I just don't understand. Like over and over, people like I'll do that. Like I'm Tom. Yeah, I know. Like why do you think? Does it not occur to you to think, oh, he's introducing himself? Anyway, that's just me.
Dude, listen, it's related to that. Maybe is something that's been happening this week. I'm working with another comic. We're doing a show together. I'm from New York. He's from Boston. I think if either one of us talks for 30 seconds, you could kind of figure that out. But he actually says, I'm from Boston. Okay. Every day this week, I've met.
Okay.
Now, he's also my age and bald. Okay, so I can get a little bit of maybe the confusion. A couple times people said to me, oh, you're from Boston, huh? I go, no, that was the other guy. Oh, yeah. Last night, I swear to you, after the show, we left the club, boom, boom, boom. We said, I'm going to my room, and there's two couples. And one lady goes, I can hear her say, what part of Boston are you from?
Yeah.
But I'm far enough away that I'm going to try and act like I didn't hear it and just keep moving because I don't want to talk to her. So I just kind of turned the corner, and one of the guys goes, what part of Boston are you from? Now I have to address it. It's loud. It's coming at me. So I turn and I go, oh, hey. I said, oh, no, I'm not from Boston. That was the other guy. And they were like, oh, no. I said, I'm sorry. I'm not from Boston. And they were like, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, no, I'm not. I have to smile, No, I'm not. I said, were you at the comedy show? Yeah. I said, that was the other guy. He's from Boston. And the guy looked at me and goes, no, it's you. Yeah. I said, no, it's not.
Why would you
I said,
lie?
I'm trying to smile, but I'm like, no, the other guy's from Boston. Brad, he's from Boston. What's that?
He said, why would you lie?
Tom. Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Why would I make that up? So I'm talking to them. I said, remember, he even did the joke about, I'm from Boston. He says, go ahead. You want me to say it? Okay, park the car. Like he does a whole little thing on it. And I said, listen, I said to them nicely with a smile on my face, listen to me talk. Can you hear? I mean, I'm talking to you right now. Do I sound like I'm from Boston? And the wife turned her head. She turned away from me like, you're being a dick right now. I know you're from Boston. She went like, why is he being so rude? And I said, I know we look alike, two bald guys, Northeast, but Boston and New York kind of have distinct accents. I'm trying to be nice and explain. Listen to me. I'm not putting this on. This is how I talk. And he talks, he says, I'm from Boston. You can clearly hear it. And they wouldn't believe it. And finally I said, where are you guys from? And they're like, we're from New York. I go, I sound just like you. How do you not? I don't know where else to go with this conversation, but it's like that. It's like people not introducing themselves to you. Why wouldn't you just say, oh, yeah, hey, Tom, I'm Steve. This is my wife, Beck.
You should have said, no, you're not. You're from Boston.
You know my name, but I don't know you.
Yeah. It's like the performer-audience relationship is completely different. When they watch us, they feel like they know us, because we just talked about our wives, our kids, whatever, our lives. They watched us for half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever it was. Right. They know us. We don't know dick about them unless we happen to talk to them a little bit. But it's however big the room is, it's, let's say 300 people all have the same relationship with you. But you cannot possibly have the same relationship with 300 people.
Right.
They were just somebody in the audience. You may not even have seen them, but they think you know each other.
Yeah, we've met.
Yeah. So by you saying, hey, I'm Tom, they're like, I know you're Tom. I just watched you for 4.
Yeah. That's why I feel like I'm polite. Yeah. Like
but you haven't met them. I'm
politely saying, no.
It's an odd thing, Yeah, it's such an odd thing.
And so maybe there's a way to talk about that a little bit, like on the ships, because it's getting ready to happen on the ships. And the other subject I wrote about a lot. I wrote a bunch of stuff about immigration because I did a thing where I was just texting while I was on the ship, and I had a couple people send me topics, and one of them was immigration. And I ended up trying to write about because right now it's such a huge topic, right? Like it's the whole thing. and I don't know shit about it. I don't care about it. Like, I know I'm supposed to care.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't want to look into it. I don't want to figure it out. I'm just going to assume whatever Sean Hannity says about it is the wrong side, and I'm going to go the other way, you know? And so in our country, you know, like liberals will say, why don't we just start with what it says on the Statue of Liberty about bring us all your huddled masses? This country was literally built on immigration. Just ask the Indians, right? If you can find one. I mean, you can't, for Christ, you can't even say Indian anymore. That's how rare they are, right? Like, and you know what? You know why there aren't Native Americans? Because of their liberal open border policies, right? They let everybody immigrate in. You know what I'm saying? If these guys would have been able to have a stricter border policy, they could have stopped their own genocide. But they were out there welcoming them and helping them farm and learning how to put fish heads in corn. You know what I mean? Nobody was listening to Chief Fuck Them Whiteys. You know what I'm saying? If they would have, there would have been a different thing happening, you know? But I like the angle of flipping the liberal policy on, even though I'm a liberal, I like flipping, like, because it's true. The immigration policy killed the Indians, literally, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, that sounds like Hannity's point of view on that right there.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard the sort of idea.
No, it's just because you said whatever Hannity's point of view is.
Yes, yeah, that is kind of Hannity's point of view. It is kind of funny. Yes.
Dude, that's a funny line though. It's just a funny line. They could have stopped their own genocide if it wasn't for their open border policy.
Yes. I like saying,
oh, look at these guys coming. Hey, look at these guys. Look at them. Hey, what do you got? Boats? Hey, how you doing? Sure, we'll show you how to draw. We'll show you how to plant corn. Hey, listen, man. We domesticated these dogs over here. We'll show you how to do it. Come
on. I keep going back to the Mandela Effect. What if you just went, oh shit, did I just change my opinion? Okay, is that the Mandela Effect?
Yes.
Okay, is that the Mandela Effect? Am I on a different timeline? Obviously you'd have to do the other bit first, but just as a side note, what line do you work for, Tom?
What'd you say? I can't do this on there. But
what cruise line do you work for?
I wouldn't do, like, this is stuff I can't work on, obviously, on the show.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I can't
okay.
Any, like, to me, I can't. That I might, as long as you're making fun of liberals, you kind of can, I think.
Yeah.
As long as it's not, you know, too over the top. I had some other stuff on it, and now I don't. Oh, I like the idea, too, of being like, they keep saying that we have a crisis at the border, and I think that my way of dealing with it is the same way that they have dealt with the climate science for the last 30 years. I'm just going to pretend that it's not real, right? Like, I'm just going to feel like immigrant, and it's not even real. That's just a myth perpetrated by the Chinese trying to get you to stop their escapees from getting in. You know what I'm saying?
That's footage from 12 years ago. That's not us right now.
That's Mars. It's interesting how that's a really interesting take about how both sides can be completely full of shit about things. Like, you like, we're going to ignore. I'll tell you what. What if they? I mean, I'm picturing, like, what if both sides sat down behind closed doors, went back to the old days, just a bunch of guys smoking cigars. Okay, we'll ignure climate change science.
Yeah, we'll trade that.
If you ignore the open borders, all right. You know what I mean? All right, we'll shake hands and. Well, there's no climate change. The borders are closed. What were we talking about? I mean, I don't know, because there's all scumbags. I mean, the whole point is...
Yeah, I don't know. I think
scumbags.
What if the vote was on? What do you guys got to ignore?
I think that would be really funny. Yeah, I mean, definitely.
I think that we can get to a point where just think about, like, within our lifetimes, how far we've come. You know what I mean? I was on a ship both me and the other comic noticed this because we talked about it. We're like, oh, you noticed that too? Where I had a front row there was a guy sitting there, and I said something to him, and he was like, "Yeah, this is my husband," and they were just sort of so comfortably, openly talking about like their relationship and that they were married, like, and the whole crowd was okay with it. It didn't create any awkwardness, like literally, like just a ship of families and blah blah blah, and then two guys walking down the thing, walking down the hallway, holding hands, and nobody is offended or like, oh my God, this has to stop. Like the room doesn't get uncomfortable, which in my life, that's the first time it really like snapped in me like, oh wow, this is not one person is uncomfortable right now. That's a really fucking cool thing to happen, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely, absolutely. It's definitely, I've noticed that too. Cause I remember what, it wasn't not long ago where you'd see a man and a woman or a woman and a woman walking with their hands holding down the street, and you'd see reactions, horrified reactions. And now it just goes right over, it's just, hey, that's
I don't really have a joke about it, except it kind of fits
that's
with
cool.
Because I started working on a bit about an angle about like another thing I can't do on the ship about how I'm like a old the left is so left now that I'm like there's liberals that I know that would call me conservative, but I don't know any conservatives that wouldn't call me a liberal, right? So because I'm like an old ass liberal, like we came up like fighting for gay rights and equal rights and gay marriage and blah blah blah, but we also made fun of a guy for sucking a dick, right? We were all for equal rights and having women in the workplace and getting paid equally, but we also went to Hooters. You know what I'm saying? We loved little people. We had like, but we also had like midget wrestling and dwarf tossing in bars, like. And they were like, "Hey, let's do some midget wrestling." Like, they were all mad, like, "You can't call us midgets anymore, you retard!" Right? They get all mad at us, right? And so it's that kind of premise of like,
that's funny.
We were for this, and now we're assholes, like.
Yeah. That right there, Tom, I think that's very funny.
Right, because it points out that we were like, I felt like I was on the side of these things, and now I'm suddenly considered not on the side of that. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, interesting.
The change. Yeah. Does that mean we all change, or is the world's changing? Which one is it? Or are we changing?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
But I also think like with some of the stuff that I don't know, man, because like when people are like the comedy's too PC right now or whatever, like PC, like Greg, when we started, we were like, there was guys that were like, we'd be saying, "Hey, dude, you can't be doing jokes like that." You know what I mean? It's like they're so anti-women or they're so blah blah blah, and it's like you guys with your PC rules about comedy. You know what I mean? Like this isn't anything new.
Yeah.
Like some of the topics that we talked about,
right?
They're now like you would be talking about something on the opposite side of what the majority felt, and now we're on the side of the majority, right? And so it's kind of a cool thing to be like, oh, we were on the side of progress or whatever, or depending on where you are as a comic, you were on the side of like anti being the demise of what happened, depending on what side you think about,
Right.
And the fact that there's sides, like these are the things I want to go after. Like I don't want to be the guy being like, here's what you should think. It's more like, I don't know, man. I think there's a middle ground that we're missing on a lot of things right now. And
hell yeah.
And the problem is the money gets fed to the media and to the politicians through the extremes, because that's where so they just play to the extremes get played to, the extremes get listened to the most, because that's where the money comes from when it comes to paying for the elections, paying for the viewers, Anyway, that's not comedy.
It's all about money. You know what? You know what? You know what? You know what? I theorized about this, and I'm sure both of you have thought of this. I know I'm not the only one to think about this. Is that both sides in Congress, in power, both sides, they're on the exact same team, and every kind of fight that you see in the court, in Congress, and all this stuff, it's almost as if it's like wrestling. Hey man, I'm going to say this, and then you're going to do this, and they're going to do this, and it's because sometimes. And I don't care what side you're on. I don't care if you're a liberal. I don't care if you're a conservative. Sometimes somebody on one of the sides says something so completely dumb, and you're like, how do they sleep at night? How do they sleep at night saying something so stupid? And it's not, how do they sleep at night? And nobody sticks a microphone. No one sticks a microphone in their face and says, do you realize what you just said? You just said this out loud. You said that out loud. And no one ever calls them on it. And it's almost like they planned it, because the whole thing is an act to keep everybody fighting so they can steal our money. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
By the way,
I actually had this thought. I said, you know what this
Look
world
over here
needs?
while I do this over here. Yeah.
Especially America. What this world needs is for an alien ship to land and start shooting fuckers, because then people are gonna be like, oh, we gotta all come together and fight these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? That's what this world needs. We need to be invaded by some kind of alien species to bring us all together. That's what we need. Yeah.
In hate to murder.
We need more killing, Tom. Seriously.
The first part about that would make a good Uber driver sketch, where somebody gets in your car and you just start telling them about like what's wrong with the world. Like you're like, here's what's wrong in the thing, and it's both sides. You know what I mean? You go on that sort of like, that's a funny. To me, that'd be a funny Uber thing.
But dude, listen. I know you guys both think I'm joking, but I seriously. What?
Go ahead. Keep going. You're seriously.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I know you guys think that I'm making a joke, but I literally thought that. I think some of these people that the way they're fighting, I'm like, it just seems so scripted. It seems so fake. Like, really, that's what you're fighting about? And they say something so stupid, and like, you don't. There's no way you think that, and it always kind of feels like wrestling to me, and I'm not putting wrestling down. I love wrestling. Wrestling is great entertainment. Okay. It's great. I'm just saying that's what this is. It's entertainment. Only instead of us, sitting back, watching it and drinking a beer and having a good time, we're getting fucked.
Can you smell what the Senate is cooking? Yeah. It smells like bullshit.
Yeah, there you go. You smell what the Senate is cooking. Can you smell what the Senate is cooking? Bullshit. That's what he's cooking.
Yes.
It's just a theory that I had about, but what do I know, man?
I like it.
Fucking caveman.
It had me laughing when you were doing it,
Oh, thanks.
Nothing.
I believe in two things. Right? Yeah. One, that people are mostly good and loving. And two, that I'm for sure wrong about that first thing. Okay. I
lost you on the first one.
One, that people are good and loving, and two, that I'm for sure wrong about that first thing.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Here's another quick one. The Buddha, before he became the Buddha, he was a prince that had everything, and he had a wife and kid, and he left all that behind to go and sit and meditate under the tree and to become oneness and to become the Buddha, to explore Buddhism or whatever.
Right.
So really, he's deadbeat dad. You know what I'm saying? The Buddha. So Buddha learned that leaving your wife and kid is the end of suffering. Right? Because his whole thing was about ending suffering. Yes.
That's hysterical.
Is that a real quote?
That is hysterical.
Is that a real quote?
Is that a real quote about what he did?
No. About that he learned that, or is that your summary?
Well, no, his whole thing was about ending suffering, and attachment to things causes suffering. Attachment to results, attachment to our own thoughts and ideas. Those things cause
Dude,
suffering.
you haven't done that on stage.
You know? Attachment to things, even if. I've tried it at an open mic a couple times, and you know what I mean. That's what I'm starting to work on, that joke. You know, I thought,
dude, I like that.
When my father left, he meditated for a really long time under the secretary's bush.
Dude, listen, that's pretty. That's what that is. That joke, I like that. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. And you might like this as a dad too. The Buddha, like, you know how no matter what your son does, it's a weird thing with your kid. Like, you want them to be better at it or to work harder at it. You know? Or you want them to stop playing the video games and stop doing the thing they're doing and do what they should be doing.
Right.
So I can imagine if I was Buddha's dad, or I don't even have to be Buddha's dad, he probably did it too. Like, what are you doing? You're just going to sit under that tree and cross-legged every day? What is the matter with you? You're going to just, get your ass up.
What's the matter with you?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's over there just discovering nirvana and like the truth to pass down to generate. And you know his dad and mom were disappointed in him. They're like, "You're
yeah. Did you want to go outside? There's a baseball. What the heck are you doing?"
Rice? Yes.
You're getting fat.
You're getting
never
fat.
Gonna get anywhere with this way. That's what I mean. That's what I'm trying.
That's funny as hell. That's funny as hell.
Yeah. I like to hear that because I've been reading, I've been reading about Buddhism and stuff. So some of those ideas are sticking with me. So it's fun to try to write about them,
Yeah.
The Buddhists believe in a oneness, right? In a interconnectedness of all things, right? Except for Tibet. They want that separate.
Yeah. Except for Tibet.
Let me ask you this, buddy. I don't know. Listen, I'm impotent with this right here because I don't know anything about the religion. But can I ask you this about it? Is this the one that believes in reincarnation?
I think that's more Hinduism, where you keep coming back, sort of, and reliving your karma until you sort of get it right. But the Buddhas do come back. Some of them do. I think if once you reach the level of Buddha, you're in a state of oneness, so you're not really. But I think that's what the Dalai Lama is. Like they believe that some of these Buddhas, they come back and they go on this hunt. They go on these hunts for these to town, and they bring the dead Buddhist stuff with them, and then somehow along the way they find
and they reach
a kid or whatever that recognizes those things and has a connectedness to them, and they're like, "Oh, this is him come back." So, I'm believe me, I don't know what I'm talking about totally. These are just my understanding, So the Dalai Lama, the Dalai Lama's. So he's in the line of those from that somehow. I don't know. I'm just now. This is all sort of new to me, because I'm doing
that's a lot deep, man. Are you reading it because you're thinking that might be something you want to believe in, or is it just something you want to write jokes about, or something you're just interested in?
I'm trying to figure out. I want to write jokes about everything, but it's not why I'm looking like that. I've sort of come across because just in reading in general about religion or spirituality, or reading in general about I'm trying to do like that thing with anger that we were talking about, and then being in the now. Like I've tried some of these things had never occurred to me until the last couple of years, that like most of the, like I spend a lot of time in my own head, like in anger or in reliving the past or having a thing that I'm going to go do this, like so much time not in the here and now. And I spend all this time in places that aren't real, like the past and the future and these scenarios. And I didn't recognize even that my mind was doing that. So I've started sort of meditating and recognizing that. And then some of the reading that I've started to do has sort of stumbled across that. I was complaining about how like,
boy,
we all know that feeling of being like connected to whatever spirit is, you know, whatever. We all know that we have that feeling. And then, but there's like, why can't that just be all the time? This should be easier. I shouldn't have to work at being loving. That's the easy. It should be the go-to. So I found this book that sort of breaks down like why that's not, and sort of explain, you know, that's part of what it is doing the work every minute, every day, trying to stay, you know, out of that stuff and stay connected to anger like that.
Right. I admire that, but I wish I had more time to read.
You have a kid, you're 6. So I had like, once I had my son, I stopped reading about all this stuff. You have 3?
Yeah. 3.
Jesus. You know, it's funny. You're talking about your son not wanting to play baseball, which I think is a funny ass topic too. I remember. That was. And I remember joking around with my son about like, I telling him how much I loved him and being like, you know what, but I would love you more if you hit 380. You know, I just hate to tell you that. You know what I mean? If you would stop watching Strike 3, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, he starts tomorrow. ESPN, 4:00. ESPN Plus.
It's on TV?
He pitches for Longwood University against William and Mary tomorrow. He's a freshman.
It's got to be on TV.
Yeah. So if you have ESPN Plus, you can find the games. Yeah.
Nice. William and Mary.
Wow.
All right.
He's pitching for Longwood.
Oh, he's pitching for Longwood against William and Mary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow, I wonder if I'll get it on the ship. They have
it's
like 4 ESPN channels on this particular ship, and one of them is ESPNU. I wonder if it'll be on if I can get it on the ship.
It's ESPN Plus, and then you got to go. We're just figuring it out because it's our first year with it, with him being at school. And you go to ESPN Plus, and then you go to the NCAA baseball games, and they cover almost all the D1 games. I
had ESPN Plus. I had ESPN Plus for a year. Yeah,
I've had it. I've never once watched it, but it's like, it's a way to go watch my son play baseball.
Yeah, you can search for.
They cover almost every game, because every stadium has
almost every game.
Yeah, almost, not every game, but yes.
Yeah.
So, which is great for me being on the ships. You know, when I get home, they'll be there, and I can watch them, and you know.
So wow, that's cool. When do you go back out, Tom?
Saturday or Sunday, one of the Sunday.
How long are you gonna be gone for?
I'm gone for a week, and then I'm back, and then for 3 days, and gone. You know, I probably like Greg, where it's like I'm off and on.
Yeah.
You ask me what ships I work.
Yeah,
Carnival,
you guys.
I work NCL, Celebrity, Princess. I just did MSC, so I don't know that I've done Holland, so I've done a lot. I want to work as many of the lines as possible. I don't trust that. I don't trust all my eggs in one basket, kind of thing. You know.
Yeah. No. Good for you. Yeah. Once my kids get a little older, I'm going to go back on them. Because I did it for a while, and it was good.
Yeah. Who are you working for, Greg?
It's good money.
Okay. That's
Royal,
that's sort of like somehow Royal. I have never worked them, but I think like they're sort of. I haven't heard a bad thing from a comic about Royal yet. You know, it seems like it's the sweet spot.
It has been for me.
What separates besides just being funny, what separates you from being but then more of like the comics that don't end up being all the time on Royal? Like what what do you do differently besides just you're funny as shit? What's the difference though?
I don't know. I mean, I worked a lot. I worked a lot for them before the pandemic, and then when we came back from that, they offered us long-term contracts, multiple month contracts, and I accepted it.
Now, did you have to do the thing where you
and I was
lived
gone
as
for
a
7 months on one
like
ship?
a crew member entertainer, or did you still were you still a guest entertainer? Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Because I was on for 7 months, I was technically crew. I had to be, but I was a guest entertainer. So it was kind of a little bit of a gray area. I had access to the crew area anytime I wanted, but my room was a guest room.
I think they just,
you
know how they sell art on the ships, I'm sure that, well, the artists also go on the ships like us for personal appearances.
Yeah. Really?
And so they get booked regularly out there to go and do like a little seminar on the ship or whatever to help sell their stuff. And one of them told me that when she's on the lines, you know how airlines have frequent flyer miles? Well, the ships have a similar thing when you're on the ships where they have Royal Caribbean numbers where you get points every time you're there. So do you do that? Do you get your points? You do?
Yeah.
No. I think you can, or she could.
I think maybe they're different. Maybe the artists are different, but I don't get points with Royal.
That's what I mean, because I'd never heard of that. And I was like,
I'd be
what?
freaking
And she was
triple
like, we can
pinnacle
do
by
that?
now.
And she said, yeah, I do it all. I've built up a ton of points, and I'm like a gold member or whatever. And I was like, I didn't know we could even do that. And so I was going to look into it.
I don't know.
Okay.
Look into it.
I think the loophole is if you stay. Sometimes
Royal.
we're guest entertainers, but we stay technically we're in the crew area where our room is. So if you're in a crew room, you don't get the points, but if you're in a guest room, you do. So I'll see. I'll look into it. I thought, wow, I don't think comics know about this. Another perk.
All right. Yeah. That'd be great if we could do it.
This has been really fun, guys.
Yeah, man. I'm encouraged by this Buddha thing.
Yeah, man.
Oh, it's funny as hell, dude. That's funny as hell.
I'm losing Tom a lot. There we
go. Let's see. Tom, tell them how they can find you, or the best way to find you.
T Simmons Comedy. T Simmons Comedy on Instagram. I have a version of a podcast where it's me talking to friends of mine and comics in Greensboro. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, so that's called Dumbest Tom in the Room, and it's mostly on YouTube and Spotify. And that's it. They can watch the Miss Pat show. So the first 3 seasons of that, I was a writer on that.
Yeah. That's cool as hell, man. Yeah.
That's it.
Also, what's the name of your dry bar special?
Nice.
Peace, Love, and Whatnot.
Oh, that's right. Peace, Love, and Whatnot.
It's
that's very funny. It's Tom is kind of sloughing it off. It's a very funny special. The thing he does at the end with the letter is genius. I was cheering. I was jumping out of my chair watching that. I want everybody who's listening to this podcast. I'm serious, dude. I was jumping out of my chair cheering. Go watch his dry bar special. Listen to his podcast. Follow him on social media. Tom, you don't know what a pleasure this is. What a pleasure this was, and so cool hanging out with you.
Thanks, man. Same. I've enjoyed it. This is a great idea. I wish we had a better connection. I hope it comes through. No doubt. It works.
Appreciate it, Tom.
Hey, man. All right, guys. Right. Good luck, man. I mean, this is I don't know about you guys, but I'm having fun being a comedian again. So it's just fun.
Yeah. Me too.
Thanks, Tom.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you soon, Tom. Vac, see you online, brother.
Thanks.